Hello, welcome back to all my people, beautiful souls. Welcome to Tea and Tarot Tuesday. We are here for another All Signs reading for the month of July. If you are new to my channel, welcome, beloveds. My name is Princess Leah, and I'm an intuitive artist and healer, performing artist, and so I channel for the highest frequencies of conscious love through tarot, as well as just through intuitive channeling, and sometimes even music lyrics come through. Um, so tonight we have our second half, part two of the Tea and Tarot Soul Sessions. I also usually sip on my tea as well. For those who are still learning more about me, I have my FemRems Apothecary where I handcraft fruit infused herbal tea. And if you book a one-on-one Tea and Tarot Soul session with me, you do get a 1 ounce loose leaf handcrafted tea. If you are in the United States, it'll be shipped directly to you, or we'll meet in person if you are in my area. So check my description box if you would like to find more information. But tonight it's too hot. We're right here in the mid smack dab of summer, the first day of July of 2025. So instead I have what's already sweating and melting is my mango sparkling water. So we're going to sip on that for tonight's tea as we get into the tea of the tarot for all signs, starting from Capricorn through Gemini. If you are wanting to hear the message for the signs of Cancer through Sagittarius, that was read last Tuesday, so you can check out my Tea and Tarot Tuesday playlist that's in my description box below to check that out for yourself, Sun, Moon, Rising, Stellium, or if you're cross-watching for someone else. I am going to be pulling the energies for the Divine Feminine, Masculine, and messages from Spirit, along with some tea formations that are the positive quotes that come at the end of ends of the tea bags from my beloved fellow tea makers. They are not sponsoring this video yet. So cheers, whatever you're sipping on, whether it's your iced tea or your wine or your water. Let's just cheers to that and we'll get right on into it. Welcome on, everyone. Okay, so I had one quick collective message that came through as right before I was about to go on. So what I want to share is for those who might be wondering about a partner. We are in a lot of, since we're in Cancer season, that's your feels, that's your fourth house, the heart chakra. We also have Venus in the sign of Taurus right now, which is her ruling planet. We also have Juno, who has been retrograde and is going to be going direct on July 10th. Juno is the wife is of commitment of the zodiac or of the astrology. So welcome on everyone who's here. And I want to share with you the download that came through. And if this message is for you, take it if it is, leave what doesn't. If you're here, I'm here to bring the highest vibrations of conscious love as best as possible. If you are not here to be here for any kind of conscious love, then you can go ahead and scootaloo because we don't have time for that. Okay. So, but I know that this week, with the new moon in Cancer this past week, was really heavy. We have a lot of emotions that are coming up. We have a lot of just energy that we're shifting through, cutting out, and some of it is not the most comfortable of feelings. So if you're, trying to tune in and you are coming from a place of a lower vibrational frequency, then that is a portion of what this collective is feeling across the globe. And so I'm not going to reciprocate your low vibrations if you want to come through with that. But I will go ahead and just again hold space in conscious love. But I will not allow people to want to come in and try to make, I'm not going to allow that. And that's what I'm hearing as a message as well. You definitely don't need to come into other people's space just to make chaos. There's enough chaos in this world, and we definitely don't need any more. So I will remove you, as I have done, and I will also continue to carry on. So the download that was coming through actually is very, very kind of spot on about this. If you want to be with someone, if your heart space is feeling filled with a lot of emotions right now, if you're recognizing and going through, who do I want to keep in my life? Who do I want to take with me on this next timeline, in this next chapter? Who is God cutting out of my life, or divine source, however you want to call it? Who is cutting me out of their life? Like, and you're asking yourself, what do I want in love? If it's a specific partner, maybe this is something you might be asking yourself. But what I was hearing is, if you want someone who, let's say, is not afraid of imperfections, your imperfections, their imperfections, if they're not afraid of conflicts of interest, if they're not afraid of other people's opinions, if they're not afraid, if you want someone who's not afraid to have those tough conversations, that's what makes conscious love, is unconditional trust, is being able to forgive, is being able to talk through the hard things, is being able to have, those interactions that are very, very, very awkward and uncomfortable, right? Especially when you're getting to know someone, but even as you are continuously with someone for years or decades, you're going to constantly approach more and more conversations that are uncomfortable, conflicts of interest. You're going to make mistakes because you're human, and they're going to make mistakes because they're human. So if you are calling in a partner, if you're asking yourself, what do I want in a commitment, as Juno is about to turn direct on July 10th, as Neptune is about to go retrograde on July 4th, as Mercury is about to go retrograde on July 17th, then we have to ask ourselves right now, how are we showing up for that in that relationship? How are we showing up in the world? Because we are what we attract. We have to stop being afraid of the things that we don't want our partner to be afraid of. And so it takes a lot of self-reflection. And as we are in retrograde season, coming up on about to be in retrograde season, this is going to be a lot of internal reflection. So for the collective, I feel, whoever's tuning into this and whoever finds this, if this is resonating with you, this is what we're going to be facing and focusing on, is what do we want? What do we want to commit ourselves to? What do we want in a committed partnership? Whether that's romantic, professional, familial, platonic, we still are committing ourselves to something. How do we want to commit to showing up in this world? Do we want to commit to being who we have been? Because we're in the year of the snake, so I've been told I need to wear this snake armband, because this is where we are shedding layers. We're shedding layers of old versions of ourselves. We're blocking negative energy that is not allowed to come in and creep in any longer. We are releasing things that are no longer a part of our soul contract. We're letting contracts that have been expired be released, and we're doing that with dignity and respect as best as we can. We're doing our best to speak up and to share our truths and to allow other people to share their truths, no matter how painful that is. And that is how we grow. That's how we expand. That's how we learn. That's how we mature, and that's how we come together more. That's how we come together better. It's not about all of us being perfect and then no one having conflicts ever in a relationship, or one person submitting to another and that person controlling, and it just makes, No, it's about knowing when there are disagreements, knowing when there are imbalanced values, knowing when there needs to be conversation, knowing when there needs to be a time to walk away, whether it's for a moment in the heat of the moment or whether it's for good. And trusting and surrendering that whatever is meant to be, whatever is in your highest and greatest good, will always guide you. And sometimes that means pause. Sometimes that means break. Sometimes that means break up. Sometimes that means end. Sometimes that means go within. So I hope that helps. I hope that message hits whoever needs to hear that. But that was for the collective. So now we're going to go into Capricorn. And let me go ahead and timestamp. Thank you, Spirit. All right, so we are at 10:40. Let's just say 10:50 for Capricorn. So we're going to start with the Divine Feminine, Capricorn. I'm going to live shuffle here, so if the cards are a little loud for you, then I can go ahead and lower the volume. My camera and my microphone is still weird. I just saw 11:11 on the clock. So I feel like that is, as I was talking about my camera and my microphone being weird. So I'm hearing that things are just are shifting. They're ascending. I'm hearing aligning to something better and more elevated. You have the Page of Cups in reverse, Capricorn, Divine Feminine. And the Two of Wands and the Lovers that wants to come through. I'm going to keep just one card and put the other at the top. So the Page of, I think it was the Page of Wands, Page of Cups in reverse. That's definitely some inner child healing. And then you have this Lovers card here of the self-reflection. You are mastering your self-love, Capricorn Feminine. You are understanding who you are and loving who you are and who you see in the mirror, which is exactly that download that I was coming through for the collective. You are owning I'm hearing your pride with this pride flag, and June was Pride Month. You're owning love is love. You're owning that love comes in all shapes, forms, sizes, all different ways. Love comes in different angles. It's not always black or white. It doesn't always look like this or that. And sometimes love doesn't even come in a way that's like rainbows and sunshine all the time. Sometimes, I'm not saying love is like painful, but love cracks open your heart. Divine love, conscious love isn't always something that feels, fluffy and light and beautiful, because you're releasing the egoic attachments to false love when you awaken to divine conscious love. You're releasing all of the false expectations, all the false perspectives, all of the false reflections that are not properly portraying who you are, but who you've been trying to be in order to get love, in order to earn love, in order to be worthy of love, in order to be accepted. You're releasing all of that. And if it's been something that's been a part of your story, says the Queen of Wands as she's writing her story with the High Priestess underneath that, yes. And so you're recognizing that in your past, Capricorn Feminine, that you have maybe shrunk to love before, or shrunk yourself in order to be accepted and called that love. Or you went down paths that weren't in alignment with you and called that love, but it was fear of rejection, it was infatuation, it was transactional, conditional. But Capricorn Feminine, you're now making the choice to love you now, the choice to commit to you now. You're now recognizing that the world is in your hands. You get the choice to go and move wherever. This High Priestess under the Queen of Wands, you're finding confidence in yourself. You are now writing the rest of your story. You're not letting your past or your parents' experiences dictate how you now move in love. And that's really beautiful. The High Priestess, you are now tapping into your highest wisdom of yourself. You're taking the good, bad, and ugly about yourself, and you're learning to radically accept that and find wisdom in those mistakes, find wisdom in that darkness, to find wisdom in those paths. It's beautiful. That's very, very, very beautiful. So maybe you have been doing a lot of inner child work on how you've learned about it. But what you're doing now is you're taking all of that knowledge and you're reflecting in the mirror. I'm hearing the Michael Jackson song, I'm starting with the man in the mirror. My voice cracked a little bit, so maybe you got your voice cracking because your throat chakra is opening. He said, I'm asking him to make a change. Right? You have the Hanged Man, Divine Masculine, the man in the mirror in reverse. Wow, this hangman is really beautiful. I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's upright, even though it's funny because it's a hangman, so it's upside down. So the hanged man, I know it's blurry because this is not my typical camera that I use. But we have here this yogi, this martyr, who is literally tying himself. He tied himself upside down on a tree. And in that shift of perspective, he is awakening to a new level of enlightenment. Really beautiful. They call it the Hanged One, not Hanged Man. So this is about shifting your perspective, right? Looking at the man in the mirror, Divine Masculine, with the Star card coming out. And the Three of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. You are shifting your perspective. You are coming into an enlightenment of your wish. Now you're recognizing that you now hold the space for you. And you now hold the space to manifest your desires, your wishes. And you're learning how to utilize your strengths and work together with others to do so. How can you make it work? How can you write and lay out your blueprint? You're writing your blueprint of how to make this wish upon a star come true. 12 and 17 those numbers are sticking out. 2 and 3. Aquarius energy as well. So maybe you're an Aquarius Capricorn cusp. But she's a warrior of the stars, holding the stars and the water. Aquarius, the water carrier, holding space for your emotions, holding space for your desires, and taking the steps necessary, writing the blueprint out to make sure that those dreams come into fruition, Capricorn Masculine. Yes, with the Ace of Swords underneath that, you are trusting in divine. You're getting clarity with how you are going to manifest and make this happen. Now, I know that this is fairly vague because this is just typically, pretty much a one card pool, even though I do look at a couple of the cards underneath. But take this as it resonates in your story, Capricorn. So we have the Six of Cups, Spirit. They all are up in reverse when I pull it on the bottom of the deck. But the Six of Cups, you're going through a lot of nostalgia. Maybe going back to that inner child, what you've been learning about your relationships, of how you've seen love. That Six of Cups wants to stay out with the Queen of Crystals. The Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you're learning how something in your past, whether this is, again, past life, past love, childhood experiences, you are learning about yourself. You're learning about who you have been and who you have been becoming. You're learning about where you have come from, Capricorn. And this could also even be past life love or childhood love, if it is for those, like the energy was coming through with the divine feminine. But take it as it resonates. This could be career, this could be passion, your passion purpose, your bliss work, or your purpose partner, you know? But Capricorn, you are coming in as Queen of Crystals, Queen of Pentacles, your sign. Actually, I always think of the Queen of Pentacles as a Virgo, but Virgo energy, but still that stability, the reflection and the work that you either have been doing or will be coming into that enlightenment this month of July is going to bring you stability, more stability in yourself, more confidence in yourself, more practical, I'm hearing practical steps with that masculine energy coming through, looking at areas where you can actually now turn these dreams and ideas onto a piece of paper, onto making a blueprint out of it, so you can now take those steps. They consider the Three of Pentacles Capricorn energy. So yeah. So let's see what your T formation is, Capricorn. I try to keep these at like a 10-minute if possible. Be guided. Listen to the whispers of the universe. Okay? That's for you, Capricorn. Listen to the guidance of, be guided and listen to the whispers of the universe. This is this Two of Wands energy. Listen to the whispers. Let it guide you as you are cultivating your wish fulfillment. And look, I accidentally hit the bottom of the deck, and the Queen of Wands for the Divine Masculine pile came through again for the second time. Lots of Queen energy, feminine energy. But that's, again, that's because that's that creative, your senses, your feelings, your emotions are guiding you. Because that's where your soul's desire begins, in your sacral, in your heart, in your third eye, and then we bring it into fruition with your root energy, root chakra, with your solar plexus, with your throat. So I hope that helps, Capricorn. Definitely let me know if it does. Oh, look at that. I don't know if this is for Capricorn or Aquarius. We have the High Priestess, the Two of Cups, and the Judgment card that just wanted to fall right on out. So, all right. That's for someone, but I was doing this for that's a little message for someone, Capricorn, and I'm hearing Capricorn, Aquarius cups. You are going through, this is for the Divine Masculine pile. Whether you are Divine Masculine or if you're tuning in about a Divine Masculine, there is a Divine Masculine energy that is going under a major transformation, Phoenix rising around, we were talking about love with the relationship, under a soul contract. Major transformation, Phoenix rising, literally from the ashes of death, rising into the Phoenix. It could be same sex because we also had the Lovers card that had that pride banner. But, so, you know, again, masculine and energy, is masculine and feminine is just energy. It's not gender based. But masculine energy, also the High Priestess here at the bottom of the deck. So yes, turning all of this, there's definitely a major transformation going with a soul contract, with a partner. And it's bringing you into higher levels of wisdom, and you're going to your guides now. You're going to divine for guidance. Be guided, listen to the whispers. Exactly. High Priestess, duh. That makes sense. So whoever needed to hear that, that was for you. All right. We have Aquarius. Time for you. Aquarius. I'm having a hard time writing these numbers down right now. So maybe you're having a hard time writing out your thoughts or just being clear on how it is. Maybe you're trying to write a letter, Aquarius. Maybe you're trying to write something out, your thoughts or whatever, but it's just coming out all blotchy or chicken scratchy. I don't know. Let's see where you're at, Aquarius Divine Feminine. Ooh. Yeah. You're having a really hard time. These cards didn't want to shuffle. They're like bumping into each other. Ah, there we go. Yeah. Maybe you feel like you're just bumping your head against a wall. Interesting. All right, we have Temperance in reverse. Divine Feminine. You're feeling out of balance. This card wanted to just come right out. Ace of Cups with the Eight of Pentacles. So you're trying to come back into balance, into, I'm hearing reconciliation. Maybe you're trying to reconcile something around love, around your self-love, the divine love, Ace of Cups. Maybe you're trying to work on your self-love with the Eight of Pentacles. Doing a lot of self-work. Trying to re-alchemize, recalibrate your energy. Because you're on a pathless road right now. You don't know where to go. I feel like you're kind of like, where do I go? You have the Three of Wands underneath that. You don't know where to go. There's not like a paved path. You're just kind of basing your direction off of this rainbow in the background. Somewhere over the rainbow. And look, the Ten of Cups with the rainbow way up high. So like in the Ace of Swords, you are looking for clarity. You're looking for your soul tribe is what I'm hearing. You're looking for your people. You're looking for your soul mate. And you'd have no idea where to go next. So you're just working on how you can figure that out, working on where you can move, working on how you can come into harmony and happiness, and looking, and what I'm hearing is you're not going to find it in your work, Aquarius. You're not going to find it in your friends, Aquarius. You're not going to find it in your partner, Aquarius. Not until you find it in divine. Not until you let the divine love pour into you and overflow your cup, so that then when your cup is overflowed, that's what then pours into these other cups. But right now, Aquarius, you have that Temperance in reverse, Divine Feminine. You're working on trying to figure out, where do I go, which direction, but the path is wide open wherever you want to go. Just listen to divine with that Ace of Swords. Listen to your guides, your intuition, your heart. I have a lot of music channeling coming through. Listen to your heart when he's calling for you. Okay? And I'm not hearing just like a counterpart calling for you. Divine Feminine, listen to your heart when Source is calling for you, when God is calling for you, when Divine is calling for you, however you want to call it. Let that pour into you. This is giving me a really good analogy. Every time I fill up my water bottles with my Brita filter for my baths, because you need water bottles in your bath, or otherwise, how else do you have a divine sacred bath for hours on end? I'll do a tutorial on that in one day. Don't worry. Maybe Aquarius, Divine Feminine, you like to take baths. I don't know, but I'm being told to tell this little tiny story about, because of this overflow. You know, whenever I fill up my water bottle from the Brita, and you can do this in any way, shape, or form, but when I'm filling them up, I usually do like a kind of like a, I don't know, little trickle down, in the sense of like, I will fill up the Brita with my faucet water, and then I will pour the water that's in the Brita into my water bottle, right? And then I drink the water that's in the water bottle, right? Just like if you were filling a cup. So I'm hearing this, like every time I do that, I always think this is how this flows when it comes to me and my externals, whether it's counterparts, whether it's my job, my child, my work, my lovers, my friends, whatever the case is. I can't pour into them. I think of myself as the Brita, and I think of them as the water bottle. And source is the faucet that's being filled, that's filling up me, the Brita, that then I can fill up my cups. Does that make sense? My cups everywhere else. So Divine Feminine, I feel like you needed to hear that. Maybe that is what it is that you're working on, is filling up your cup. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and carry on. But I hope that helps. I hope that made sense. So Divine Masculine, Aquarius. It has been a really, really emotionally packed week. It's just been, as soon as Cancer hit, the summer solstice, things are shifting. We're in the second half of the year now. There's a lot. There's a lot that's weighing on our heart, mind, soul. There's just a lot of shifting. Two of Swords, yeah. And so it doesn't end with you. It doesn't fall any shorter with you, Divine Masculine. You have no idea what the F to do. You're in this Two of Swords, I can't make a decision, that wants to stay out in reverse. But I'm hearing, look at this. Wow, Aquarius, you have the Devil card at the bottom of the deck. That's Capricorn energy as well. But what you're trying to figure out is how to cut these cords from these toxic relationships, energies, addictions, habits, patterns, loops. This energy is giving me, I don't know how to get out of this never-ending cycle. And it's making me think of a song that I just wrote and I'm still working on writing. And I really want to, I posted over on just like a sneak peek on my Instagram. It's called Conscious Love, No Regrets. My mom and I, sing on it together. And the idea of this song gives me, and this might be like the music video vibes that I'm getting, right? That I'm manifesting, but like, I just get this vision every time I hear this song of like being in this time loop where like the day never, like you never get to the next day. You wake up and it's the same day over and over again. You eat the same cereal, you do the same work, and maybe that's how you're feeling, Divine Feminine, too. You're doing the same work. You just work and work and work, and maybe Divine Masculine, that's the loop you feel like you're in. I eat my cereal, I clock in, I do my work, I clock out, I go home, I eat my dinner in front of the TV, I go to bed, I wake up, I do it again. Wash, rinse, repeat. And that's why you're having difficulty with cutting this cycle, because you don't know how, to begin, is what I'm hearing. And you also don't know, how do I cut the chains? How do I escape? Wow. How do I escape from this devil energy? And it could be a relationship that you're like, how do I get out of this? It's a contract. But do you want to know what's so interesting underneath this? You have the Hierophant. Look at this. This is so similar to like the Lovers card, where like the Lovers is actually the reverse, inverse of the Devil card, where the Lovers is the number 6, and this Devil card is the number 15, which reduces to 6. But it's like, maybe you have been thinking that you were living in heaven, and now you're recognizing that you actually have been living in hell. And so with the Hierophant card, this is like asking This is like, you see, I know it's so blurry, I hate it, but you see how these people are down here praying to, I think this is Shiva, the divine masculine entity. But don't quote me on that. I need to confirm that. But I want to say, because that's what the energy gives me. And and like how the devil has his hand up doing this. This one has his hand up, and it's got the Om symbol of peace, of inner tranquility, of unlimited, being your unlimited self, loving all of who you are. So it's the same thing with the divine feminine of the only way that you can really truly pour into your externals, your partners, your friends, whatever, is you have to let divine pour into you and fill up and overflow into them. It's the same thing where to break these chains of addiction, of the endless loops of toxic cycles, of old, outdated patterns, to break these chains, you have to love you, Aquarius. You have to love all of you. You have to accept all of you. Okay? You have to forgive all of you. I'm hearing, Aquarius, you have the Six of Swords underneath that, afraid to move away from familiar territory, even if you know it's toxic. But the Six of Swords is saying, I'm doing it anyway. Go afraid anyway. Show up, battered, broken, bruised, afraid, vulnerable. Say what you need to say, even if it's like coming up as chicken scratch is what I'm hearing. Write that letter. Say that, send that message. Say that truth. Because that's what's going to break you free. Don't let the loops and the cycles take your life from you, Aquarius, divine masculine. That's a really, really deep, deep, deep message. I was not expecting that. But I hope that helps someone who is listening. Look, Spirit is saying, you got the magic in you. You got the magician coming out. You have nothing to worry about. You have everything you need all within you. I love this. Thank you, Spirit, because you definitely needed some encouragement right now. These are your words of encouragement from Spirit saying you are the magician. You have all the tools that you need. Look, it doesn't want to go back in. With the Two of Wands, the universe has your back with the universe card underneath that. You know exactly, whichever choice you make, you can't get it wrong because you'll never get it done. Because you are constantly evolving and unfolding and expanding, says Abraham Hicks, because you are the magician. You're the master alchemist of your life. You can literally snap your fingers and take yourself out of your own hell should you choose. Bless and ordain yourself to a new soul contract, because that's what universe, that's what Spirit, divine, God, Jah, Allah, however you want to call it, is here to be with you in that moment of, I just heard resurrection. Maybe you're in a, I don't know if this is why I feel like I need to say this, but just because of the color, the people that are in this card, this devil card here, it's it's a brown skinned girl and a white skinned man, and so maybe that interracial relationship, maybe you feel like there's this like chain of the barriers between different race, different class, the barriers and the chains of what's being told that that's incorrect or not right. um, you know but there's also, you name whatever the chains are that are keeping you, Aquarius, whatever loops, whatever cycles, whatever addictions, whatever patterns. It could also just be like workaholism. It could be perfectionism. It could be a fear of commitment because your parents never worked out. It could be, you know, being wanting, it could be anything. But don't be afraid to cut those cords, because the Hierophant is here to grant you a brand new soul contract as soon as you cut those cords. Okay? Okay? I hope that helps, Capricorn or Aquarius. I hope that helps. Interesting. You might be a Capricorn Aquarius cup, so maybe you need to listen to the first reading too for Capricorn. But look at this, Aquarius. Your potential self is infinite. Wow. You are the magician. You have all the tools, all the strength that you need within you. My manager used to tell me this all the time. He used to tell me to say it to myself all the time. All that I need is within me. All that I need is within me now. That is what you need to say to yourself. Your potential self. That's that Hierophant card. You know that you see better and more for you. Spirit sees more and better for you. It's time for you now to cut those cords, break those chains, break those cycles, and rise into who you know your potential self is always meant to be. It's time. It's time. It's time, Aquarius. I hope that helps. Peace and love. 41:41 on the clock. Let's go ahead and move on to Pisces. These are a bit long. Pisces. Giving you extra love, y'all, but that's okay. That's why we're doing that's why I have to break them into 2, sometimes even 3 parts, because it's hard to just give us a little speed date reading. I'm going to take a sip of my mango sparkling water, because I'm noticing that I'm having a little bit of like nausea just now. So that solar plexus is starting to kind of like activate. Yeah. Because it's weird. It's hard to follow your gut when you have been told to do the opposite your whole life. When you've been told that you have to stay in line, it can make you feel queasy. Pisces, maybe you have a similar, maybe you're going through a similar thing. I don't know. But you have the Knight of Swords. Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, Stellium. Maybe you've been feeling like it's been, you're having these like kind of queasy feelings. Maybe there's something in your life that's making you feel sick to your stomach. And you're having the Knight of Swords in reverse, Divine Feminine. It could be a conversation that might be making you sick to your stomach, that you know you need to have, or that you have already had. And it's going to be, it's a really big epiphany. That's not always the most, I'm hearing like it's not always the most pleasant truth. It's not always, it goes back to this download that came through, is don't be afraid of the tough conversations, even if they make you sick to your stomach, even if it's so uncomfortable, even if it's super awkward, even if it feels like it blows up your life or has a potential to do so. But look, what it's really doing is it's giving you divine clarity. It's bringing you clarity. Yeah. Clarity from the conflict with the Knight or the 5 of Wands underneath that Divine Feminine. So this Tower moment, I'm hearing this detour, and now I'm burping, so I'm having that fear be released. So whatever conversation, and of course I did just have sparkling water, so the carbonation, but before that, with that quease, like, release whatever fears that you have about whatever conflict that you're feeling. Don't be afraid of the conflicts of interest. Don't be afraid of the awkward, tough conversations. Don't be afraid of other people's opinions or judgments. Don't be afraid of your own imperfections. And even if other people can't handle that part about you, Pisces, Divine Feminine, Spirit is going to cut their ass out anyway. If it's not for you, it's gone. Okay, that's what Spirit's trying to say. Spirit's trying to let you know that, okay? You will find clarity, and with clarity comes peace. And sometimes clarity is not always peaceful. That's good. Sometimes clarity is not always peaceful, but you will find clarity. And when you find clarity, you will find peace. I hope that helps. Divine Masculine, Pisces. You have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. So maybe you feel like things are not quite going as planned as either, Divine Masculine. I know these kind of feel a little bit of heavy energy but this week, but for the month of July, it's not that it's heavy energy as the Eight of Swords comes out. It's not that it's heavy energy. I'm not trying to laugh on our anxiety that's happening, but I laugh because that's just how I am when things are heavy. I just make a joke out of it to make it lighter. But I laugh at that because literally, as I'm saying, it's this month, there are going to be a lot of things that need to come out in order to be released. There are a lot of things that are going to have to be expressed, experienced. There are things that are, look, you're getting out of your head. You're in your head right now, Pisces, Masculine. Maybe you're feeling mentally stuck in a situation. Maybe you feel like, I don't know what to do. I don't know. I got my hands tied behind my back. I am blindfolded. I have no idea what's to come. No idea. So because I don't know where I'm going, but you see her legs are not tied up, just her arms, just her eyes. And yes, there are swords around her. So your external, Pisces, you might be feeling tied up. You might be feeling stuck mentally in your head because the swords are the mental. But this is all external to you. All you have to do is walk. Your legs are free. If you were to walk and feel around you with your toes, you'd know that you could just walk. And so what you could be walking into this month is your Emperor. I know it's so blurry, Divine Masculine. Hey, Sweet Chariot 144. Welcome. You say clarity, you say, reminds me of a saying, people demand truth until truth actually comes out. Ooh, yeah. That's the truth, ain't it? Yeah, it's so true. It is so true, right? Be careful what you ask for, right? You say you want clarity, well, here it is. You say you want the truth, okay, here's the truth. Don't always feel good. But what's happening, Divine Masculine, is you're in your head about a lot of things right now. But once you see where you're not stuck instead of where you are, when you find, okay, I'm hearing the quote like, the problem cannot be solved in the same energy, right? Or how does it go? The solution and the problem cannot be in the same energy. Goodness gracious, I'm butchering the heck out of this. I forget. I think maybe, who said this? I'm not even going to try to remember who said it. But you know what I'm trying to say? Let me know if you know. The energy of the solution cannot be met with the same energy of the problem. That sounds right. And so that's what I'm hearing for you, Pisces. And this is also Aries energy too. So you might be a Pisces Aries cusp, or you might have associated, signs with that. But I'm hearing like maybe I'm hearing, not maybe, what you need to do is see where you are not stuck instead of focusing on where you are stuck, because that's what keeps us in that loop. And I'm seeing the 8 right now with the 8 of Swords as like a loop. Instead of seeing it as, usually the 8 means like infinite abundance, right? Infinity. But what does infinity mean? It never ends, right? So if you're in a loop of this cycle of self-sabotage, I'm hearing, of mental anxiety and anguish, the loop of being stuck, the loop of being too anxious, the loop of, you know, it's like in Aquarius's reading, get out of that loop. So maybe you're Pisces, Aquarius cusp, I don't know. But I'm hearing like, with her feet being not stuck, not tied, use that. Where are you not tied down? Where can you find the solution? Is it in the tough conversations? Is it in the, how can you rise above this fear? How can you get out of this mental limiting belief? Yes, that's what I'm hearing with the 8 of Swords, the limiting beliefs. Because when you can break free from those limiting beliefs, Divine Masculine, you can then tap into your Emperor. I know that's right. Your divine masculinity of being the protector of your, I just heard of your, of the protector of your woman, the protector of your family, the protector of your life, the provider, right? Defend your girl, defend your child, defend yourself. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Get out of the limiting, disempowering beliefs that are keeping you on this stuckness loop so that you can step into your empower, and protect what you need to protect. Okay? Okay. All right, let's see what Spirit has to say. Wow, I'm really getting like kind of like ramped up about that. Like if you have people coming at you or at your people, at your tribe, at your family, what are you going to do? Are you going to get scared and like recluse? Or are you going to be like, you're not about to mess with my people, right? I'm feeling like a very like, I need to protect and defend. Protect your tribe, protect your vibe. Spirit says, yeah, 10 of Swords reverse. Get out of this cycle. It is done. It is done. Yeah, the cycle of oppression. Yes. Generational oppression. Global oppression. We got the globe twice here in the hands of the Emperor and floating in the other hands of the entity that has this veil over. You're lifting the veil. You're lifting the veil of the oppression, the things you have been oppressing. The oppression over this globe. Okay, I'm not trying to get political or global. No, we're not getting into that. But we got the 10 of Wands underneath that with the 10 of Swords. Okay, need I say more? Pisces, you are going through a major ending of cycles of things that have been oppressing your throat, your truth, your expression, your solar plexus, your self-willpower, your self-worth. People oppressing you, things oppressing you, society putting a veil over you, telling you to hide yourself. Because it's not what? You're in your head. It's not, all these limiting beliefs. Not worthy, not good enough, not lovable, whatever the case might be. Step into your Emperor. Step into your empower. It's time. Time to end this bullshit. Pardon my French. Time to end it. Don't let anybody try to tell you who you have to be. Don't let anybody try to scare you out of what you know is calling your heart. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. Oh, I love when Aristotle be speaking my song lyrics. There is something of the marvelous. Okay, Pisces, I can quite put my finger on. So, you might be in your head feeling mentally stuck about some memories, because the song's called Sweet Memories. You might be in your head about what is to come because you have no idea, because you feel like you got your hands tied behind your back and you got your eyes blindfolded, but that's the best time. Just like the Two of Swords with the Aquarius, where he had the blindfold. You know what that means? Walk by faith and not by sight. Trust your intuition. Don't let them oppress your self-will power. Don't let them oppress your gut instincts. Don't let them. That's why I was feeling sick right before your reading, Pisces. Don't let anything or anyone oppress what you know is calling for you, what you know is true for you. That's the clarity that you are seeking. That's the skin you are shedding with this year of the snake. We are shedding old versions of ourselves. Finding yourself, I don't want to show up in the world this way. I don't want to show up in my relationships this way. I don't want to show up for my people this way. I don't want to show up for myself this way. It might not be comfortable to walk away from things that are not aligning with me. It might not be comfortable to go after things that everyone else says turn your back on, or people to turn your back on. But you're like, I have no idea. Everything is saying don't go after that. But for some reason, my heart is calling to it, because we've been oppressing our truth. We've been oppressing our desires. We've been oppressing our gut guidance. Don't do it anymore, Pisces. Please don't. Okay, carrying on to Aries. Aries Divine Feminine. I hope that helped, Pisces. These are long, but we're halfway through. These are long. All right, Aries Divine Feminine. We have the two, look at that, Two of Swords. So you might have some Aquarius in your chart too, like the Divine Masculine Aquarius had. What decisions are you afraid to make? Where are you feeling like you are stuck in trusting your intuition? What did I just say? Two of Swords, walk by faith and not by sight. Same thing. So you might also have Pisces in your chart too, Aries. Perfect timing to come on. Welcome on, Mama Nia. And yeah, you have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. What was that sound, Tony? Sound like a scrape on the door. So interesting. Maybe you're hearing like little, I don't know. There's like little tiny like sounds, something that's trying to get your attention. Okay, let me get back to this. Or maybe it's just a little distraction, right? Maybe you're being too easily distracted, Aries. We have the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Pentacles. So you're feeling afraid of trusting your intuition. You're feeling afraid to make a decision. You're feeling afraid to listen to your emotions. You're feeling afraid of your emotions, Aries, because you're up to your waist in them. You might have Pisces in Cancer or Scorpio in your chart. But what I love that she's like listening to the seashell. It's like listening, you know how when you put a seashell up into your ear and you hear the ocean, but she's like in the ocean. So it's like interesting because you're like listening. It's like you're looking for something while you're standing right in it. That's very interesting. So maybe you're literally like up close, so up close. You're literally living in a space that you're looking for. Very interesting. And there's this Knight of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck, the slowest knight in the deck, Taurus energy too. So you might also have Taurus in your chart. But the Knight of Pentacles, slowest knight, but it's the most loyal. It is the most like stable. When it finally makes up its mind, when it finally reaches its destination, it's there. It's there. Okay? So I'm hearing like emotionally, maybe you're feeling afraid to decide on something emotionally for you. And it's taken a while for you to move in that direction. But however long it's taken, you're actually there, Aries. You're swimming in it. But you're still listening. You're still like trying to call people for advice. You're still trying to listen for the language. You're trying, not the language, interesting, I said the language. You're trying to listen for the language. I was going to say you're trying to listen like for the message. But maybe there's a specific kind of way or language you're trying to hear it in from a certain way. Like, and when someone's like saying, oh, I really like you, but you're trying to hear it from in a different way. Like, I really love you, or I want to hear these exact words. Like, I really care for you, or I really like your blouse, or like maybe you have been so used to hearing emotions in a certain way or feeling emotions in a certain way that when you're in it, even when you have already made it to your destination, you're still looking around trying to hear it in a different language, in a language that you're familiar with, is what I'm hearing. Look, you got the Eight of Swords underneath that Knight of Pentacles, so definitely listen back to that Pisces reading for the Divine Masculine, because they had the Eight of Swords. Where do you feel stuck? That's where you're stuck. You're so used to things having taken so long to finally, it's taken so long for you to finally get here, Aries, Divine Feminine, that you don't even realize that now you're waist deep in it. And you're like, I need to hear it in another different way. I need to hear it in a different way to like believe that I'm actually here. So I'm hearing, see where your blessings are and not where they are not, Aries. Thank you. Just like with Pisces, see where you are not stuck instead of where you are stuck. That's beautiful. Okay. That's coming through. That was a little bit hard to like hear, but I can hear that for sure. I hope that makes sense. Divine Masculine, you have the Nine of Pentacles reverse. The Nine of Pentacles. Okay, beautiful Black Queen on the bottom of this deck with the Nine of Pentacles. I love this. All colors are beautiful, don't get me wrong, but yeah, this is a really fierce. I love her outfit too with the pink. So Divine Masculine, Aries. With the thing is though, with the reverse, I'm hearing like, don't let your pride, don't let your pride or ego get in the way of your abundance, is what I'm hearing. Yeah, thank you. Go within and reflect on what it is that you truly value with the Four of Swords, because you're about to prepare. You are preparing for some battle. Interesting that the Four of Swords literally usually is the card. It's the card before the Five of Swords, which is preparing for war, preparing for battle. And so Divine Masculine, and I, don't want to take this in a literal sense because I don't feel like going, I just am not that person that likes to go into political things like that or global events. But you might be quite literally, if you are in the service, like maybe you feel like that as a collective, we're all in this like, all right, gear up, prepare, like we don't know what's about to happen. We better, Wakanda forever, like, I know, I'm like, what I'm saying though, like we're like, okay, take a beat, but this is also very much retrograde energy as well. Having the retrograde, Neptune going retrograde on Friday, which is July 4th, which is in the United States Independence Day, which is the day of like from, you know, their victory over war, like, you know. And so I'm hearing, like, I'm not saying you're necessarily going to have a month of battles, but I'm hearing that this month of July, Aries, it's going to be really important that you, Divine Masculine, that you go within and reflect on the areas where you have conflicts of interest. Going back to this, don't be afraid of conflicts of interest. And if you want the people in your life to not, whether it's a counterpart romantically or a coworker or a friend or whatever, if you want them in your life and you do not want them to be afraid of conflicts of interest, you also need to know how to hold space for the conflicts of interest without, I'm hearing, getting so defensive. Because you see, Aries, you are the Emperor, right? That's the Emperor card came out for Pisces. But this one, the Four of Swords, he's literally in his armor, taking a nap in his armor, ready for battle, ready for anything to come up. Because of, I'm hearing, because of the amount of conflicts that are showing up, or maybe the amount of conflicts that he's been used to. So maybe you're used to conflicts in your relationships. Maybe it's because you learn from an early stage that relationships are nothing but conflicts. That relationships are nothing but arguments and competition and fighting, and your family is always fighting, or your friends are always fighting, your job, or this world is always fighting. But look, you have the Ten of Swords at the bottom of that. It's that cycle is coming to an end. You're learning how to handle conflicts better now. You're learning how to handle conflicts healthier, more maturely. And that's where the Queen of Cups for the Divine Feminine is coming in, Aries, because that's also about holding compassionate space for yourself, for others. That's emotional safety. You're learning how to provide emotional safety for yourself and others so that when there are conflicts that come up, you can and you are preparing yourself to be able to handle them with grace, to handle them with compassion, to handle them with love. That's really beautiful, Aries. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Thank you, Spirit. This message, I will receive it too. I am a fellow, my Aries gang, Ram gang. Six of Swords. Look, talk about the 4, 5, and 6 of Swords, even though this was the 5 of Wands. But still, 4, 5, and 6, taking the steps necessary. You are taking the steps necessary that are leading you through conflict and through the fog, waiting for the dust to settle after that 5 of Swords of war, battle. Now it's time to wait for the dust to settle. I don't know what that was. No, none of them wanted to stay out. Look, I can't make it up. 5 of Swords. With the goddess Isis here. Love this. I was just learning a little bit more about Isis because for the Sagittarius reading, so you might also have Sagittarius in your chart, or maybe you're affiliated or associated with the Sagittarius, but with the Queen of Wands at the bottom. But Isis came out twice for the Sagittarius reading last week, so you might want to go back and listen to that and check the timestamps in the comments. This five of Swords here of conflict, of cutting. This is also about setting boundaries. Okay, so maybe in the midst of your conflicts, you're also learning how to hold space to where you can set healthy boundaries for yourself. healthy boundaries for for the people that are either going to be in your life here on out, or cutting the people out of your life that don't deserve to be in your life anymore, right? That are constantly causing havoc and, you know, mental anguish or anxiety. Or I'm hearing making that choice. Maybe that's where that Two of Swords in reverse was coming through, of learning how to make the choice and use the discernment of, do I cut you out? Is it time to let you go? Or do we need to learn how to resolve this in a healthier manner? Do we need to set boundaries so that we can move together healthier? Because that's a part of healthy relationships. It's not every time we have a disagreement, I'm out, deuces. That's what I learned. But I'm learning and have learned over the last decade of dating and, you know, trial and error and all of the things is that not all conflicts have to end in breaking up or walking away or blocking or whatever. That you can learn and you can sit in disagreement. 1:11:01 on the clock. You can sit in disagreement even if it's uncomfortable and still be able to resolve it healthily, maturely, gracefully through it. Queen of Wands. Finding confidence in yourself to be able to work through it. Finding confidence in yourself and in this connection to know that you can grow through it. And with whatever that is hard, whatever difficulties, you will be able to make it through. Because you're already there. You're farther along than you know, Aries. You're actually there. Now you just need to take a step. I'm hearing just like take a step back, reflect, and see how far you've come, no matter how long it's taking you. But you are protected by this goddess Isis, the, you know, magic goddess of earth, the daughter of Ra, the god of the sun. I'm just saying the things that I've learned. No, I'm just saying, but these are significant to protect over you through these times of trial and tribulation. To know that you are the master manifester, the goddess of sensuality, of magic, of love. Love is what prevailed with Isis as she was loyal to her beloved brother / husband. I'm not going to go into it, but Osiris, right? She was determined to find every single bit and piece of his body to bring him back together and bring him back to life, because he was assassinated from hate, but she brought him back through love. And that's beautiful. And that's what you're doing right now. You are learning, Aries, how to bring things that have been broken from hate, from fear, together, back together through love. And that could be the parts of you. I just like got choked up. I just like almost choked on my spit. Like that could be the parts of you that have been broken that you are now bringing back together through love, or the parts of, you know, your relationships. Take it as it resonates, because this is super long. Sorry, I went a little longer. Sorry. But you get the same quote as Pisces. In all things of nature, there is something of the marvelous. So let that guide you. Okay, we're time to carry on to the Taurus. I hope that helps. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I receive 114. Yeah, that was long. All right. So we have Taurus and then Gemini, and we're done. This is why I have to split them up. And that did not want to shuffle at all. That was like really clunky. So Gemini, where are we at now? Taurus. So if you're tuning in, We did Capricorn, Aquarius, Pisces, and Aries. Now we're about to do Taurus. I'm going to do Capricorn or Gemini, and then we're done. It will be time stamped if you want to rewind or listen back. Or you can go to the other half that we did last week, which was Cancer through Sagittarius. Taurus, you have the Empress in reverse. Divine Feminine. You're afraid to step into your full potential. And then you have the Lovers and the Magician that popped out in reverse. I'm going to take the top one with the page with the 7 of Pentacles. Okay. So I'm going to put them upright, but I am taking this into consideration that they were in reverse. Taurus, you might be feeling like maybe you've sabotaged something that you were nurturing. Whatever seeds that you were planting, that it was in its infancy state with the Page of Wands. Maybe it hadn't grown fully yet enough. And maybe you tried to, I'm hearing like either overwatered it, overexposed it, underwatered it. There was something that feels like maybe you're feeling like you sabotaged or it was sabotaged. It could be in a relationship with the Lovers in reverse. It could be in the realm of your own growth of love for yourself. Maybe you feel like you betrayed yourself, trying to control the outcome of things to the point where you did not give room for divine to work its magic. Instead of just enjoying the experience, the journey, instead of just being on an adventure, you tried to rush it, is what I'm hearing, or you neglected it and it what's the word? For some reason the word I just lost it. Shriveled? I don't know why that's losing the word. But you know what I'm hearing? But like, and maybe again, maybe it wasn't you. Maybe you feel like your lover did that. Maybe you feel like someone else did that. Maybe you're feeling like God did that. I'm feeling like a little bit of a sense of like frustration from this. It's like you wanted it so bad that you accidentally, it's like when you love your fish so much. Maybe you had a fish, that's why the Page of Wands is here as a child. Maybe you had a fish when you were a child. I'm just making this up for somebody. Maybe it's you. And you loved it so much that all you did was feed it because you loved watching it like eat. And then it just overate and it died. And you're like, what the fuck? Or like, again, going back to the plant. Maybe you wanted this plant to grow so bad that you thought, if I just give it more water, maybe it's just thirsty. And it drowned it. I'm hearing that for someone, and that's really hard. And that could be in a love relationship dynamic. That you wanted it to happen so badly that you actually suffocated it. And that sucks, right? But have grace for yourself, Taurus, Divine Feminine. I get it. The bull gang, right there, you know? I get it. When you are, the bull is like, it takes a while for it to get going, but once it finally has its like bullseye on a target, you cannot derail it. And sometimes it can either work to your benefit or it cannot. When it comes to love, with this Lover's card, it's not the same as your like work. And even sometimes then you can only work on a project so hard before it just needs space. If it's just not like growing as fast as you want, if you're not making the income that you want, but you're like still just pounding it. There is a time where it needs its divine space. It needs to take in that nutrients. It needs to take that pause, that beat. You can't force a baby to grow any faster. You can't eat more food. You can't drink, like take more prenatals. You can't, it's just gonna grow. So maybe Taurus, maybe there's a divine feminine out there that's also pregnant, because this card is a person who is also with child of the Seven of Pentacles. But I bet I will not be surprised if the T formation that came after you, Taurus, is nature does not hurry, yet everything is accomplished. Sometimes divine timing moves slower than you would like. And what's funny, Taurus, is the Knight of Pentacles that we just had in Aries, slowest knight in the deck. Slowest knight in the deck. But that's because once you make your decision, you are set. So you want to make sure you make the right decision. But once you're set, you're like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's go. Where it at? And I'm hearing with like Aries, Taurus cusp maybe, because of that Knight of Pentacles that came out. And Aries, you also really like things that go fast. And you're like, why is it not happening? Why is it not happening? Like, where's it? Why can't I find it? I really would like this to happen yesterday. Like, Rome was not built in a day, but it should have been. What the fuck? Like, you. So Aries, I'm hearing like take a little bit of Taurus of like slow down, right? Go within. Taurus, I'm hearing like allow this pause, even though you are determined, and now that you're set and you are ready and just like take a beat and trust and trust. Look, Six of Wands, you're not trusting in your victory, divine masculine. You're not trusting that you are victorious, that you have already won. You're not trusting that victory is already yours. Maybe you're afraid of the responsibility that comes from this victory. Yeah, trust in the clarity. Look, Ten of Cups, Taurus, divine masculine. What you worrying about? Because I guess that was for divine feminine. So divine masculine is saying, don't be afraid of the responsibilities or the public recognition or all these eyes that are going to be on you once you become, victorious. I just heard become famous, so that could be for some of you Taurus masculines. Don't worry about what people are, going to say, do, think, or believe, right? But trust that divine is with you. Look at that crown on the sword. Clarity, protection is over you. Divine protection is over you. I just heard King Taurus. Look, Ten of Cups. Your happily ever after, your wish fulfillment is here. Don't be afraid. You deserve this beautiful love. You deserve this beautiful ending. You deserve everything that you desire. With the Nine of Wands underneath that, you have worked in the Nine of Pentacles under that. We're in the year of the 9. You have worked very hard for this, Taurus. You have worked and you've been diligent and you have built. Look, y'all, 9 of Swords. I can't make this up. 999. The 10 of Cups, 9 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Swords. You have worked very hard for this. You have built and saved. I'm hearing you have saved up for this. You have been preparing for this. You have been coming into your own independence for this. You have had sleepless, I see the Empress and the Magician card. You have had sleepless nights. This could be about a divine feminine. You have had sleepless nights, worrying, anxious. Maybe this is a project. Maybe this is a business, collaboration or contract that you've been really, really manifesting. It could be a contract with something that is creative, like your, arts is what I'm hearing. Whatever it is that you've been calling in, attracting in. It could, like I said, and it could also be with that Empress, divine feminine energy, Taurus. But what I'm seeing at the bottom of the deck, amongst it all, is that 10 of Cups. So what you don't see is that this fulfillment, this emotional fulfillment is divinely protected. So you have nothing to fear. Okay? Nothing to worry about. And so I want to hear from Spirit, because I want to see what Spirit has to say for the full collective of Divine Feminine and Masculine, because I'm also hearing that goes for you too, Feminine. That's what I just heard Spirit say. Like, that goes for you too, Feminine. Like, you did not ruin anything, even if you feel like you did, because, you know, maybe you did overfeed your fish or overwater your plant. Like, you know, maybe you did strangle that connection and now it needs to breathe. And I'm not saying the fish is going to come back and be revived back to life, but maybe there's another fish in the sea for you. Okay, that's going to be even better. Okay, that's what I'm hearing. Look, the High Priestess in reverse. Spirit says you're not trusting the Empress in reverse and High Priestess in reverse. You need to trust the wisdom within you. You know exactly what you need. And these just all came out. I'm going to take the top one, the Chariot reverse. Two of Swords, Ace of Swords, Oppression. Interesting that all of these are reversed and then you have the Lovers upright. And the King of Crystals. Interesting. I'm going to keep this in mind, that these were reversed. Yeah. This is a lot about divine timing. All right? This is a lot about trusting that you are being guided and that everything is guiding you exactly in the direction at the exact time that you need, Taurus. If this is the second time confirmation for the Lovers, and this time with Spirit having it upright, I'm hearing what is meant for you, Taurus, cannot be destroyed. It might cause a severance, but it will always find its way back. It might cause a delay because we still have free will to do what we please, even if we're still human. I feel like we were divinely created as humans to make mistakes, but that's also why we were given cognitive development, so that we can learn from our mistakes. That's why the High Priestess was in reverse, because we're not learning from our mistakes. And Spirit is saying, learn from your mistakes so you can get out of this loop. Going back to the loop that we had in Aquarius's reading. So maybe you have Aquarius in your chart, Taurus. This could be with a divine love, with the Ten of Cups and the Lovers twice. But in order for you to come into stability and grounding in love, you have to trust in love. You have to trust in divine's guidance for you in love. It may not be exactly what you think it's going to be, or look exactly the way that you had fantasized, because the, you know, commercialization of love and romance and rom-coms. But trust that whatever is meant for you, whoever is meant for you, will find you and you'll find it. And as you are learning to trust in yourself, nurture timing, nurture the connection, and not force it, not strangle it, not suffocate it, not drown it, you know, that's when you can come into harmony and peace with it. Okay. Spirit says that. I think they got it. All right, so your T formation, Taurus. This is some tough love this week. Yo, we got a big, beautiful, expansive July coming up. Okay, just don't forget that. Just don't forget it. Beauty is not caused. It is. It is. Look at that, Taurus. You don't have to force it. Just let it be. I hope that helps. All right, now we're going to go ahead and close out with Gemini. Gemini. All right, Gemini. We're at 129. Okay, let me know if this is helpful for anyone. Gemini, Divine Feminine. Put it in the comments how this is resonating with you. All right. The Emperor in reverse. Divine Feminine, Gemini. Something isn't being protected. And I'm also hearing perhaps it's with the Four of Pentacles and the Crown of Swords, King of Swords. Your word, your boundaries, your values are not being protected, Divine Feminine, Gemini. You're not, there's a lot of chaos behind you. This could be from the past, and maybe that's why you're not protecting your values, your boundaries, your word. I'm hearing the chaos, the volcano that's erupting in the behind the Emperor, with the Four of Cups underneath that. Yeah. It's like your past is eclipsing your current right now. Lots of 4 energy, 444. But all of this is coming up right now for you to stabilize so that you can see what have you let eclipse, because you have this little eclipse right here with the Crown of Swords. What decisions? Here comes Tony. So someone's grandma, Mr. Grandma Tony Popsicle. Hey, baby. He always knows when the reading's about to be done because he's like, when you gonna feed me? But also this is, you know, an appearance of someone's grandmother that's coming to give some, I'm hearing some gentle protection, some gentle compassion, and some softness in the hard truths. Thank you, Tony. Yeah. I like the things you do. Okay. And so I hope that helps, Gemini. Yeah. I hope that makes sense, Divine Feminine. What in your past has been eclipsing your ability to hold true, hold stable to your values, to your boundaries, to protecting over yourself, or maybe even your heart, because of that number 4, the 4th chakra, protecting over your tribe, your vibe, your people. The 6 of Wands reverse, Gemini Divine Masculine. Again, like maybe there's just some fear of recognition. What are you afraid to be recognized for? What are you afraid to have people's eyes on you? Maybe you're afraid that now that you have all these people's eyes on you, now they're going to see and spot every flaw. You know? The 3 of Wands, but the 6 of Wands wants to stay out. 3 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So there is, like, you are about to succeed in something, Gemini, for July. The path is wide open for you. The ships that you have been waiting for are returning. What you have put out is coming back. April Sanders, good evening. They said good morning. Good evening. Welcome in. Wrapping up here with Gemini. So I'm hearing you have been Gemini masculine. Yeah, with the Two of Wands underneath the Three of Wands. You got this airplane overhead with this eagle overhead. You have been putting messages out. Messages. Interesting, I went to say messages. Like there's a messenger trying to move you in the direction of what is yours to claim, which is success and victory, Divine Masculine. Be prepared. The world is about to be in your hands. Your ships are coming back in. Their ships are returning. It could be a message from something, from someone, a recognition from someone that you've wanted recognition from, whether it's a boss, a lover, a friend. Maybe it's, in the public eye. Whatever the case is, Gemini, you're taking the steps, but maybe you need to take a step back and reflect on the things that you are calling in and hold space for that so that you are prepared to receive all of that love and abundance. And yes, with success comes responsibility, right? I said, I'm hearing more money, more problems, right? But it doesn't always have to necessarily be that way. It just means when you have more money, you have more expenses, right? And or the more you have success, and maybe you've already been feeling that, and maybe you have already gotten a taste of that kind of success, Gemini. And you're like, man, I thought it's not as cracked up as I thought it was gonna be to have all this money. I thought it was, but money, I just heard money can't buy me happiness. Money can't buy me love. Look, the Emperor wants to come through. And the High Priestess. My neighbor's calling. I'm gonna have to call her back. Interesting, huh? So maybe you have some neighbors that are wanting, look, I said messenger. There's a message, that incoming message that wants to come through. It could be with your neighbor, from your neighbor. It could be from an emperor, a divine masculine. Or it could also be from a high priestess, a divine feminine, a ancient, original divine feminine. I'm hearing, Gemini, Spirit is saying, "Ooh, this is beautiful," with the Emperor and the High Priestess. That is feminine, divine feminine and masculine. Okay? Embodied. But you have the High Priestess, which is the original divine feminine, and then you have the Emperor, which is like the newer divine masculine, the new and improved divine masculine is what I'm hearing. So I'm hearing you have either this incoming success with this beautiful partnership that is ancient because of your ancient feminine wisdom that you're bringing to the table. Honk for confirmation. And also the Emperor of this new, improved, upgraded, advanced, awakened, divine masculine. And with that, and your ancient, beautiful, feminine wisdom, sacred wisdom, come together and just create something very, very beautiful. And it doesn't, look, what does it create? Something very, very beautiful. The 10 of crystals. I know that's right. The 10 of pentacles. I know that's right, Gemini. You are creating a brand new legacy, a brand new cycle of wealth, generational wealth. Whether that's with you and your partner, and you're starting a family and your children are about to be incredible geniuses or whatever. Maybe you're going to be growing an empire with your business, and that's going to grow off. I just heard go off. But in order to do that, Gemini, remember, feminine, don't forget, You got to find your values. You got to hold close to what your values are and stick to those, and hold your boundaries strong, and not let your past eclipse your current success, divine masculine, your current abundance that's on its way this month. This is a very beautiful reading. And you know what? I just need a snaps for the Gemini right now. Hey, G7 Sun, welcome on. Because I have done a few readings for Gemini, and when I do my all signs readings, and I feel like this year you've had a lot of growth, and you've gone through a lot of things that have not been that fun. This was probably the lightest and best, like most, like I don't know, the lightest of the readings for all of the signs so far tonight. But Gemini, you have had such intense growth over the readings this last 6 months that I've been reading for you. So I feel like the second half of this year, because of all the things that you have been learning, that because of the things that you have been growing through and going through, a lot of dark nights of the souls and just expansion, release, healing. Because of that, now you're in your divine feminine. Now you're in your divine masculine. Now you're in your high priestess emperor. Okay, now you are activating your purpose. What a beautiful message to end on. Thank you. Yes, D7 Sun, you're Leo. Okay, you're gonna have to tune into last week's Tea and Tarot for the all signs, because I did Cancer through Sagittarius last week. So Tony's trying to jump up on the counters, which means that is my cue to go. But that was really beautiful. I hope that helps, Gemini. I hope that helps everyone who was rocking and rolling with me today. If you need to rewind to your sign, I'm going to do the timestamps as soon as we close off here, so you can find your sign that you're wanting to tune into. Otherwise, check out my Tea and Tarot Tuesday for last week for the month of July that we did in my description box for Tea and Tarot Tuesday playlist. And until next time, I hope y'all have a beautiful July. Stay blessed. Remember that everything that you need, all that you need is within you now. Your beautiful soul. And Tony, I'm gonna make sure he does not jump up. Until next time, babies. Peace and love. Namaste. Bye.